Wow. How's it going?
Welcome, how are you doing? All right?
Yeah, not too bad.
National Trust member?
I am, but I haven't got my card, so I'll just pay.
No, please don't.
This is Finance Cove. It's really windy today. So I've actually chose probably the windiest day to come here. I can think of better things to be doing than sort of walking along a cliff edge on a really windy day. So for anyone that's wondering, I'm not planning on staying in this car park this evening. It's a National Trust car park and they have like wardens here and things, so I don't really want to sort of promote that you can stay here. However, about 10 years ago, I've even been longer than 10 years ago, long before I met my wife, I used to actually come down and camp down here, just in this field. I used to get here of an evening, like when it was pitch black, and then in the morning then I'd go down to the cafe. Long before YouTube though. Really don't think I've timed this very well. Just saw people struggling to get through this pass here because it's high tide, which means I'm gonna have to make a run for it just to get over to the cafe. Right, I've got trainers on and I've got socks on, and I don't have a change of socks with me in the van, so this could be very unpleasant if I get wet feet. I'm fairly certain I'll be able to make it across though. You just got, it's all about timing, you just got to time it right. So then's not a good time to go. I'm gonna go for it. No I'm not, Yeah, definitely would have got wet feet from that. But now's the time. Right, I think we've done it. There we go. So you just want to go halfway. So I really think that I'm a little bit overdressed for the beach. Believe it or not, but when I left my house this morning, it was torrential rain. The sun is trying to come out. Definitely don't need this raincoat on. And probably shouldn't have wore trainers.
Passport to have a heavy one.
Yeah. Who's waiting?
Fine, let's get that and one of your homemade flapjacks, please.
Yeah? Was that everything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Without all this stuff.
I'm definitely taking this off. So this was pretty much the only place I could find to sit. It's pretty busy down here for a not so hot day. It is summer though. And that's a really good flapjack. It feels like there's rain coming. These clouds. So I should probably tell you why I've come down to Kynance Cove, and I've literally been like flat out for the last week and a half working on the house, ripping things out. I've literally just been non-stop, and I needed a night away in the van. I need to go camping somewhere that's not going to be too far away, because tomorrow morning I've got to be back at the house to let the plaster in at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I can't be within an hour's drive away from the house essentially. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to spend the night in Porthleven because there's stuff to do there, there's pubs there, I can park right down on the front, but whilst I'm in this area I might as well come to Kynance Cove, and that's why I'm here. I used to say that this was my happy place, and it still is. I can definitely feel rain now, and I'm out of breath from climbing that hill. So behind me just down here, when it's low tide, that actually creates like a nice little cove. The water is obviously further out and there's like a nice little beach down there. But people like sunbathe down there and everything and have their families down there, but the only problem is that it gets cut off by the tide. So if you're not clued up on when the tide's coming in or anything like that, you could essentially get trapped down there. Right, I can officially feel rain. I'm just gonna head back to the van. So to get out of here, rather than go back through the wave there, you can actually get back up to the car park this way, so that's where I'm gonna go. What's everyone's thoughts on these Land Rover Discoveries? Every time I look at them I think, do you know what? There's probably enough room in the back that I could lay down in one of those. And people do convert them into camper vans and things, well, off-road campers. And I'm in sort of two minds of whether, not necessarily being the next project, but a project at some point in the future, turning one of those into a camper. But they're so difficult to find. From what I've read, you need to get one with like a full service history, or else you just stay clear. And they're so hard to find one that's been looked after. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there that have been looked after, but the prices on them are just absolutely ridiculous. So I'll keep my eyes open, but let me know. Would you be interested in seeing me convert a Land Rover Discovery into a camper? Or do you think I should just stick to vans? Just let me know in the comments. Okay, so the car's parked, the van's parked up there. This heads this way. I thought this looped around to that. But maybe you've got to sort of go around the long way to get back up there. Whew. Pretty knackered though. This is my exercise for the day, completed. Well, I say completed, I've not got back to the van yet. Halfway. Right, now I've completed my exercise for the day. So, believe it or not, it is actually nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's get to Porthleven and get parked up so I can finally chill out. Let's rock and roll. This is my spot for the evening. And relax. Today's video is sponsored by my favourite suitcase brand, Level 8. And the question you might be asking is it possible to have a favourite suitcase brand? And Level 8 aren't just my favourite suitcase brand because they're sponsoring this video and many others, but they're my favourite because out of everything I've put this suitcase through, whether it's giving it a hard time and throwing it around, or whether it's whenever I've taken it away with the family and crammed everything into it and even allowed my children to ride on top of it, it's withstood all of it. And that all comes down to its German-made, macrolong polycarbonate construction that doesn't just make this suitcase durable, it means it is built to last. I'll just show you some of the features of this Level 8 suitcase called the Voyager. It has a very long, very strong aluminium pull handle, which makes it easy to maneuver, but that's not all just down to the handle. Maneuverability has been made even easier with its 360-degree spinner wheels. If security is your bag, then this suitcase also has TSA approved locks, so at least you know that when you're traveling abroad and you're going through any sort of form of customs, you know that your luggage is going to be safe. And if you are traveling and you're going through customs and your bag goes around on the carousel, then what stands out better than this bright yellow and black? But don't worry if that's not necessarily your thing, they do have other colour options available on their website. And that's just the outside. Inside you have two compartments, one for wet and one for dry, so you can keep your wet clothes away from your dry clothes. And not forgetting, you also get free delivery. So if you would like to check out my most trusted travel companion, my Level 8 suitcase, then check out my link in the description and use my discount code lovesundays and you will get 10% off. Thank you again to Level 8 for sponsoring today's video. Now, I need to think about what I'm going to do for dinner. I do have burgers in the fridge, so that was my original plan, is that I'm going to cook burgers in the van. But I really need to sort out getting a fan or something, because last time I cooked burgers in this van, it pretty much just smoked out the entire space. But also, because of the weather and where I'm parked, that means that I'm not necessarily going to be able to have the doors open when I'm cooking either. So I think the problem with the burgers last time was that they were just too thick. So I think if I break them into smaller chunks, flatten them and cook them nice and thin, then it might eradicate that problem. Not necessarily eradicate it, but reduce the amount of smoke that I get in the van. But before I do that, I'm going to go for a wander to the local pub. Oh, I left the keys in the ignition. Silly sausage. Right, let's close up shop and let's go get a beer. The Ship Inn on the other side of the water is a really good pub to go in. It's got bags of character. I'm going to go into the harbour just because it's closer, and I know the landlord in there. Not that whenever I've ever popped in to see him, he never seems to be there. So I probably just pick days when he's got a day off, but let's check it out.
Can I get a prop job, please? A prop job for you?
Yeah, please. Right. Back to the van. That's annoying. That chain is yeah, that's twice I've hit my door on that chain, but it is what it is. So here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do with these burgers. I've got 2 quarter pounders in here. I'm going to cut them in half, make them into 1/8 pounder. Is that right? And then cook them individually. Bit of cheese on both of them. Bam! Extra cheese then as well. I think it's going to work. Well, it's definitely going to work, but whether it reduces the amount of smeech in this van is another story. So I've been doing a lot of like smashed burgers when I've been at home. and I've got like a proper like smasher kit and everything. And I was tempted to bring it with me for this, but it would just take up too much valuable space in the van, so I'm gonna just see if I can do it just by hand. Okay. And then put one on, and then we're gonna just push it down with a spatula. That's kind of worked. Doesn't want to leave the spatula, mind. This is why you have a press with your smash kit, you know, so that this doesn't happen. Right, I think we're done. One. Turn that off. Two. Oh, look at that. I've made a bit of a mess, but that's okay. Right, so it's still a bit smeechy in here, but it's not like really smeechy. So in a way, kind of won. Look at how cool this looks though. Look how nice it is. Look. It's the thing, when you break a quarter pounder into two and then cook it thinner, you get a lot more of a crispy burger, but you also get 2 bits of melted cheese in between, so it's win-win. Oh, that is really good. Woo! I must have had me about 15 Dr. Peppers. That's my terrible Forrest Gump impression, really sorry. Do you know what, this is so good I might have to have another one. Okay, don't judge me, I'm having another one. Completely smeeched out this van now and killed my grill, but I haven't killed my grill, but it's a complete mess. I'm gonna need to wait for it to cool down before I can even clean it up. So, you know, earlier when I was talking about that discovery, well, that's not the only sort of idea I've had in my head. Obviously now I've got my own garage. Once it's in some form of usable state, I might actually build a micro camper, something like a Citroen Berlingo or a VW Caddy or something smaller, because I think I might be able to sort of like bring that together quite quickly. I won't go too elaborate like I have with this, but I think with that one I try to maximize the space, because obviously it is going to be a very small space. So it's going to be all about clever little designs to still get everything that's in this van into an even smaller space and also make it still usable. That's another van I want to do. I still want to do my 4-wheel drive style like VW T5 or something, but I'm not going to be doing that one for a little bit, I don't think. But all these sort of van ideas and everything I've got are just going to be so much easier once I've got the space to do it. Right, I'm going to go outside and get some fresh air. Oh, got to sneak through though. Well, it's shaping up to be a bit of a beautiful evening. It is still very windy though, and we'd probably have quite a nice sunset if it wasn't as cloudy. Nice T5, long wheelbase. Just realised that my hatch is still open. That's not very stealth at all, is it? Look at it. I think that'll make it worse. So it's currently 8 o'clock. I kind of feel like I haven't really done a lot today. Well, in this video anyway, other than I've been sat in the back, I've been like watching YouTube, I've just been unwinding, just relaxing, kind of cleansing my mind of all the noise that's going on at the moment. And sometimes that's what this is about, isn't it? You don't necessarily always have to have like a really big plan of an adventure and seeing amazing things. Sometimes you just need to get out in the van, relax, and just clear your head. And it's been really nice. I am definitely going to get an early night tonight because my son's been getting me up at about 4 o'clock in the morning this last week, which is always fun when you've also got loads of DIY that you're doing throughout the day. So yeah, bless him. But yeah, tonight definitely gonna get an early night. Tell you what, this secret door was probably one of the best things I could have put in this van. I absolutely love it. I also mentioned this in last week's video as well, about following me on raffle, because I'm going to be raffling a lot more things soon. And I'm also doing a free giveaway. And to be in with a chance to win, you just have to be a follower of my raffle page, and then you can get your free ticket. Then that item will be won by one person, and it'll be a free ticket. So it's my way of giving something back. But there'll also be other things that I'll be raffling later on that you can buy tickets for as well. Wow! How cool does the church look all lit up? Get my arms out. There we go, look at that. See it? Right there. And, not to mention, look how nice all the lights are. You see? Beautiful. It is officially 10 o'clock at night, so I think I'm going to go to bed. Time to hit the hay. Bed's made. I'm going to have to set my alarm for about 6:30 in the morning, just so that I can get to the house in time. So, plus if I set my alarm at 6:30, by the time I've snoozed it a couple of times, it'll be like 6:45, and then by the time I actually pack up and ready to go, then it'll be like 7 o'clock. So 6:30. So I'll see you all in the morning. Oh, one last thing. Because it is, even though it's been a bit of a miserable day, it is still very hot in this van this evening. That's so much better. Good night. Good morning. It is 5 to 7 and I need to hit the road. Ooh. Ugh, look at this. It is a bit of a grey morning, but I think that's how yesterday started. This is that chain. This is how safe it is here to stay overnight. I didn't actually lock the van last night. Just realised that when I opened the door that it didn't unlock, but no problems whatsoever. What a morning to wake up in such a beautiful, iconic actually, location. I mean, you'll recognise this church, right? From all of those videos or pictures you see of when we get massive storms and the waves come up over the side here and completely drench that church. And that's why the dial at the top of the church there is all rusty, because the amount of waves, that's how big the waves come up here. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, I need to get to the house, let the plasterers in. As always, thank you to everybody that supports the channel through buying me a beer through the link in the description, all of my members as well, but also thank you to all of you that come back every single week or every single video I upload and watch. You're absolute legends. Don't forget to check out my raffle page if you want to get some free tickets, and I'll see you next week. I'm not doing the cheers yet, hang on. I realised a couple of videos back that I forgot to say cheers as well. Actually, I didn't realise until I was editing it. So for this video, cheers. I have another one. Cheers and cheers. All right, that should do it. That'll make up for the other ones. Right, see you next week. Cheers.